What's going on? This is your brother, CEO Khacki. I just jumped off the porch with Dirty Glove Bastard. Who lives here?
Hey, they sleeping on the couch, you sleeping in the bed. They sleeping out the house, you got somewhere to live. How you even let them tell you about some shit they never did? They can barely keep a man and they don't even want their kid.
All right, so we got my guy, CEO Khacki, jumping off the porch with us today.
Definitely, man. Salute to you, Hayes, for sure.
Yeah,
sure.
no problem, bro. So how you feeling today, man?
I'm feeling good, man. Feeling good. Can't complain, man. God is good, man. Just blessed, bro.
Yes, sir, man.
Blessed, man. For sure.
That's what's good, and I appreciate you swinging by today,
Definitely,
too,
man. I appreciate you, man, for sure.
Yes, sir, man.
Sure.
So, we got a lot to get into, man.
We do,
you wear
man.
a lot of
We
different
do.
hats in this industry,
Yes, sir.
man.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
First off, let's just take it back to the beginning.
Gotcha.
Southside of Atlanta.
Southside of Atlanta, man. 231 Clayton County, Southside, Rex Road, Maddox Road, Backwood. That's where I'm from, man.
Okay,
sure.
yeah. I think anyone that, even if you don't live in Atlanta, you're familiar with those places through the music.
Definitely, bro, for sure.
So for people that don't know, just talk about like your upbringing, man. What was it like growing up on the South Side?
Gotcha. Man, it's Southside was beautiful, man. I grew up, man, in the 90s. I'm an 80s baby, man. So I grew up, man, in my neighborhood. It was white, black, Hispanic, Chinese, Mexican. Man, we grew up, we was in the street. We were playing either hockey, basketball, football, baseball, man, or in somebody's swimming pool. Man, I grew up, man, it was lovely, man. I can't complain about it, man. I can't complain about it at all, for sure.
And your family was in the military, right?
Yes, family in the military, man. But I actually was born in Würzburg, Germany. Both of my parents were in the military. Definitely served 22 years, my dad did, and my mom served 7 years.
Salute to them for that,
definitely,
man.
yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
what was it like being a military kid? Like, did you move around a lot?
Well, just 3 times, man. We settled in Clayton County. My dad got stationed in Fort Gillem when I was about 7 or 8 years old. But we went from Germany to Savannah, Fort Stewart. Then we went to the DMV area, Alexandria, Virginia.
Oh, wow.
And then we settled right here in Clayton County, just like that, man, for sure.
So it take you long to get adjusted to ClayCo then?
Not at all, man. Not at all, man. Yeah, it's definitely what I said, man. Growing up, man, it was different on the side, but it was beautiful, man, for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
And your pops was also a pastor?
Yes, pops is a pastor, man. Still is to this day, man, an elder.
Oh, wow.
For sure, man.
Yeah.
I grew up playing drums in the church since I was 5.
Okay.
Right before I left for the military at 20. Yes, sir.
So military parents, pastor parent, we talking real strict here then?
It's different, man. It's different. It's different. Man, we grew up, we didn't get spankings, man. We was in the front yard, man, doing push-ups, jumping jacks, and coming back inside to pray about it. You know what I mean? But that's what my life was about, man, for sure. For sure, man, definitely.
So you have siblings?
Yeah, siblings, man. 3 sisters, 3 brothers, man.
Oh, wow.
I'm actually the middle child between our whole, half step. I'm actually the middle child. So definitely, man.
So what's it like being the middle child? Do you feel like you get, the parents always love the first one, they love the baby, right?
It's like where we come from, man. It's my mother had 5 children, and I have 2 stepbrothers as well.
Okay.
But we all didn't grow up in the same household, so it was kind of like, but we all grew up in the same neighborhood. So we was close, could have been closer, but we grew up around the same, within a 5-minute vicinity of all of us. So that's how it was, for sure.
Okay, that's
sure,
good. You still close with all of them today?
All of them, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
So what were you into as a kid? Were you always into music? Were you into sports, or what were you into?
Sports and music, man. I was the chubby kid that could play basketball, man. Growing up, I was the chubby kid, man. Like I really could play. I played since I was maybe I want to say third grade up until 9th grade when I got introduced to working at Dairy Queen. I quit playing basketball, man. But
it was all about the money.
It's all about the money, man. I'm telling you, man. That 475, man. I couldn't. 470. Ain't that crazy? 475, man. 475. Working 35 hours a week.
And going to school.
And going to school, right? Oh, for real. That's it, for sure. For sure, man. Definitely, man.
So would you say that's when you jumped off the porch, when you got the first job?
I would say, man, my parents divorced, man, when I was 8. And my dad working 2 jobs. I think that's when I did, for sure. I think that's when I definitely jumped off the porch, for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
What would you say has been one of the biggest life lessons you learned since you jumped off the porch?
Oh, man. That's a good question. Don't take everything so serious. Life is short. Life is very short, man. Don't take the day for granted. Live in the moment. Life is short. Don't put off what you can do, today, for tomorrow. That's my biggest thing, for sure.
Yeah, that's real.
Definitely, man. Definitely.
So what do you do after high school? Did you go to college? Did you jump straight into the Coast Guard?
Yeah, I actually did. I went to college. I went to American Intercontinental University in Buckhead. Everybody in the city knows where that is. Went there. My daughter was born, and I didn't want my family helping to raise my daughter, so I jumped in the military, something I thought I'd never do. But I went, like I was like, man, I didn't want my family helping me take care of me. I just wanted to do what I had to do, and sure enough, man, landed in the Coast Guard.
Okay.
So I didn't want to go overseas. yeah, that's it for sure.
So
definitely.
I don't think I've ever met anyone in the Coast Guard.
Man,
So what's that experience
you probably
like,
never
man?
will, man. They call us the police of the sea, man. We pretty much everything is just drug interdiction. Pretty much we're about the same size. Right now it's probably about 55,000.
Oh, wow.
About the same size of the Boston Police Department or NYPD. We're small, but we're few, man. But we are, that's what we do, man, for sure.
Okay.
We pretty much, of course, guard the coast. So, but definitely.
Where were you stationed at?
Stationed in Alameda. It's the Bay Area. It's right outside of East Oakland. Stationed there for about a year and a half, and then the other 3.5 in Kodiak, Alaska, on the island.
What the?
On the island, yes, sir, man, on the island. So
what the hell is Alaska like?
Alaska is it takes some time getting used to. It takes some time getting used to. Literally, we having barbecues at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning because it's still light, but the weather, it's amazing how your body can adapt to the weather. We're in 25 degree weather, dressed like this, in sweaters and everything in, -5.
Oh, wow.
But it's amazing how your body can adapt to the, but yeah, definitely, man. It was something different, man, being on, I think it was 8 or 9 miles of land,
Oh, wow.
8 or 9 miles of land. The best thing we had going was a Walmart. Best thing we had going. And they just put a Taco Bell / KFC, man. That was the second best thing we had going, man.
Oh, wow.
But, definitely.
So would you recommend the military for other people who might be thinking about joining?
Definitely. I would say to any young man, looking at the camera, any young man, give it 3 years. If you don't know what you're gonna do, once you get out of high school, give it 3 years. I actually I finished my bachelor's degree while I was there, free. Of course, everybody knows the VA home loan. It's a beautiful thing. Give it 3 years. 36 months goes by fast, and you'll be entitled to a lot of different things when you get out. And if you don't know what you're doing, once you get out of high school, just give it 3 years. My boys, I got 3 boys. They're going. Just give it 3 years, man. But yeah, they're going for sure. For sure, definitely. But I would recommend it.
Yeah. So what has being a father taught you about life?
Man, everything. It sped up my life. I was 20 years old, man, not knowing what I was supposed to do in life. I was in college, but it made me a man fast. It really did. It made me a man fast. And to this day, I'm still learning. My daughter's 18, my youngest is 3. So
oh, wow.
Yeah, big
start
gap.
all over again.
Start all the way over, man. So it taught me, man, to cherish the day. It taught me to cherish their emotions. And yeah, man, it's a challenge, but it's a fun challenge every day. Every day, for sure.
Man. Yeah.
For sure.
So how did you get into the music industry then?
Man,
what was your start?
Yeah, man, I have always been into the music. I was the kid in high school, middle school, bringing my Yamaha DJX to school, and my teachers allowed it, they knew I wasn't, man, I was a C student, a C student, D student, man, I knew what I wanted to do. My parents knew he's not going to college, he's going, and I went to American Intercontinental, for music production. They knew that's what I wanted to do, but a non-traditional. But that's something that's always been with me, man. And when I was in Alaska, I always say, Kanye said in the lyrics, man, lock yourself away for do 5 beats a day for 3 summers. That's a different rule. That's a different world, like Creed summers. That was me. I literally was in Alaska every day producing. I knew what I wanted to do when I came back. And I actually did just shy of 5 years. And but I knew I wasn't gonna stay in. But the music, man, that's all I knew. That's all I know. And when I came back with a vengeance because I felt like I lost 5 years, being in the military from being out there with my guys, going full force with it.
Yeah.
So definitely, man.
Understood, man. So who were like some of your musical influences? Who did you listen to that said, man, I want to make beats like this guy?
Man, oh goodness, from Kanye to CREWL to, of course, the Hitman. A lot of people don't give the Hitman credit, man.
They were crazy with the sampler, man.
That's where it started. That's where it started, man. But I knew, a lot of people know Stevie J from, like I guess Love and Hip Hop.
Yeah,
but
which
I
is
know,
wild.
Which is crazy. Which is crazy. But I've always known the Hitmen, what they did for this culture, man. And that's besides that, Dre, Scott Storch, of course. Drummer Boy doesn't get enough credit, but these guys were my influences coming up. And yeah, definitely, man, from sampling to, really playing the keys and, it's turned into a FL Studio world. But yeah, definitely, man, these guys are producers for sure.
So what all instruments can you play?
Play the drums and keyboard, piano. I'm the type of, I can literally listen to I cannot, I can't read, but if give me a day, give me 48 hours, I can learn the song. That's just how I've always been like that. Always can. Like in church, if the keyboardist wasn't there, we knew he wasn't going to be there, I would learn the songs for that Sunday, just like that, and play. So definitely. But that's it, just those two.
Okay. Did anyone else in your family do music too?
Not necessarily. My mom always says we're like third or fourth cousins to Little Richard, which is crazy.
Really?
Yeah, definitely.
Shit.
So, but no one on a larger scale. But my parents, man, they're very musically inclined. My dad plays the drums. Mom can sing. But other than that, man, my brother, he's a recording artist as well, man. Like we just, music is in us. My sister can sing. It's just in us. In us for sure.
That's what's up.
Definitely.
So how'd you come up with your artist name, or who gave you that?
Oh man, my older brother, KG Tomorrow. I used to wear a lot of Ivy Crew, Duckhead, Nautica, things like that, man. He was like, man, I'm gonna start calling you Khacki. I was like, I like that, man. I like that. And sure enough, man, I think I was about 12 years old. And from there, he was like, which is crazy, makes me sound old, Google was coming out. He was like, we're gonna add a C to it. So when your name is Google, we can find it. I was like, bro, that's brilliant. I love it, just like that, man. So that's where I got my name from, for sure.
That's smart. He was ahead of the curve.
He was ahead of the curve. He was, man.
Yeah.
He was, for sure. Definitely.
So you come back from Alaska. Yeah. Who do you get your start working with at that time?
Everybody. Hayes, everybody.
And what year is this? So
this is 2010.
Okay.
This is when
ClayCo's really starting to jump.
this is the year. 2010, 2011. This is when Waka is with Drake. Round of applause. This is serious. I came back to Clayton County being on fire, and of course I came back with over 600 or 700 beats. I'm supplying everybody. I'm in the mix with everybody. Then I opened up my own studio. And then actually opened up a studio in my friend D&K, his mom's garage. Rented out the garage for about $400 a month on top of my rent or everything. Oh, wow. And literally, I charged no one to record with me, no one. I came back with a mission, because military, being in Alaska, you weren't able to spend no money on anything. All I did was save money. And then, in being in Alaska, being the only recording engineer, everybody came to me. So I was making a lot of money and saving a lot of money. So when I came back, I just had one goal, was to, supply Clayton County, man. Like, free studio time, let's go. Let's really get it. Let's get it. So, but that was the goal, man.
What were those times like? Because like you said, ClayCo's popping. All these artists are starting to go from here to next level.
It was I couldn't believe it. Man. Like Gucci Mane on the east side, you have your west side artists. Of course, you have T.I., you have things like that, man. But the south side, for them to reign, we was reigning supreme. But it was a blessing to come back and jump right in the mix. Literally right in the mix. And I'm from Rex Road, so man, I say, Clayton County is Riverdale, Rex Road, man. Like that's what we're known for. Clayton County is known for Riverdale, Rex Road, Money Row. Like 231. That's what we're known for. But to jump right back in the mix, and shout out to Big A Prado, Canal Studios. I ran a studio. A guy named Bentley ran a studio. Big A ran a studio. If you weren't in one of our 3 studios, you weren't in the mix. We was really, it was like that. It was like that for sure. It was like that. We had artists coming in and out. But that's what I did, man. Engineer for a lot of artists, man, and went from there for sure.
Was it a big adjustment, coming from a military lifestyle into, these are street rappers, these are,
Hayes, yes. I felt like I was, 10, 15 years senior. Man, the military matures you. It matures you. And that's what it came from. When I was in the military, I was a unit leader. I knew how to march before going in. So I led troops. I led troops, 40 to 60 troops, man. Like at an E3, E4. So I came back with a mentality of, all right, guys, let's get it. Let's get it. Let's do it the right way. That's what started. But the adjustment, man, was it was pretty rough. You get a respect for the lower 48 being secluded, in Alaska on the island. You gain a respect for everything that comes your way. But it was a big adjustment. It was for sure.
I feel
for sure, definitely.
What's your thoughts on the music scene in ClayCo right now today?
Right now, I feel like someone is waiting for someone to take, I feel like everyone is waiting for someone to take it to the level it should be on. And, that's where I step in. I promise you, Hayes, that's where I step in. Jokingly, in the Joker voice, the Clayton County needs a better line of artists, and I'm gonna give it to them. That's my goal, man. I know Clayton County, the Southside, man, we have it's something different about this side, man. It's like growing up, man, the military base was Fort Gillum, so a lot of people came in and out and including myself, started their lives with a family. So it's we're broad, a lot of the artists I work with, man, they're coming from, New York, Connecticut, the DMV area, California, Texas. It's like a big melting pot of dope. That's my biggest goal is to let them know, like, hey, man, this guy is, he's dope. He has this background. He has this swag. He has this character. Y'all need to collab, bro, and create something and grab each other's fan bases. But definitely.
Do you feel like that's going to be your role then?
That's been my role. That's been my role. My role has always been behind the scenes and making a lot of collabs happen. And I never got recognition for it, but a lot of collabs happen on the South Side that I made happen, and that's my goal. Is now I'm here, I'm going to exploit it. My goal is to exploit it, and they know I'm coming. They know I'm coming for sure.
So how did you get the nickname, the Berry Gordon?
The Berry Gordon. My brother gave me that nickname,
okay.
Man. Actually, he was like, man, your goal is to build a Motown. Everybody started at one spot. I used the word conglomerate a lot. We started at one spot, but everybody branched off, man. People don't realize everybody that came from Motown branched off and did their own thing. My goal is to create a Motown, but it's to create the atmosphere of brotherly love, and first remembering why we're here. Yeah. Why are you an artist, man? Are you here for the money? Or are you here for, to leave that legacy? In Motown, they left a legacy. And my brother always said, hey, bro, you're the Clayton County Berry Gordy. And then soon enough, it became the ClayCo Khaled, ClayCo Diddy. People, that's what people call me, man. So it's a blessing, man, to know that you have to have a good name, to be called that for sure.
Does that motivate you to go even harder when
man,
people give you those type of nicknames?
That's why I'm here, man. It does. Sometimes, man, I study Khaled. I study him. Everything from his first album, Listen. Mm-hmm. I study him. I watched how he did things. I watched how he maneuvered. It's one of them things, man. I know my gift, and I know it's bringing dope artists together. That's my gift, and I think I could do it. I've done it on a small scale for so long. Now it's time to bring it to a new height, for sure.
Does it bother you when you don't get the props for bringing these artists together?
Not at all. Hey, no, not at all. Because one day it comes. One day, I'm not after the money. I'm not after the recognition. I'm literally after what that collaboration brings to this world. I know they don't see it, some artists don't see it, but one day somebody's gonna look back and say, okay, I see what he was doing. Yeah. I see what he's doing, and that's the goal. That's the goal.
I feel that. I want to go back to engineering.
Definitely.
So I always feel like engineers are so undervalued, so overlooked in the music industry. What's your thoughts on that?
Man, Hayes, it is the most underlooked. I actually was listening to a Southside, 808 Mafia Southside. I was listening to an interview the other day. He was like, man, I don't go into a studio unless that engineer, he was like, as soon as I make a beat, the engineer has to be right on it. If they don't have a good engineer, I'm leaving. And I thought that was funny. I was like, man, no, but it's serious. Even a producer, no, I need my engineer right beside me to mix this as I go to make it sound the way it's supposed to sound. A lot of artists, man, like Hayes, man, what I deal with is, not say what I deal with, but what I come across is a lot of bedroom rappers who buy the studio equipment, they produce, they record themselves, and don't do anything to get it mixed. Don't spend the money to get it mixed.
Which is wild.
Which is wild. I can never forget, I think this was last year, Pacquiao from the Southside. I was like, Pacquiao, who mixes your music? It sounds amazing. And he sent me over the link to his engineer. This guy is, known in the industry, but a lot of artists have taken on the engineering aspect because they have the equipment. And I'm like, to a guy like me, to a guy like, just say Big A, like a guy like Stoney, engineers who really spent money behind this, and I also went to Atlanta Institute of Music for engineering as well, man, like to perfect my craft. It's a slap in the face, man. Like it's people don't respect that craft, man. Like actually, working with Stoney this morning, it's just little things, man, like on a mix and master that you have to get right. But when you have a good ear, you can hear it. But a lot of artists know, they send me things to the email, and I let my wife hear it. I always let my wife hear it. She's like, it don't sound good. She don't care about what you're saying. She says it doesn't sound good. It's the first thing that grabs a fan is the sound. So it's definitely undervalued for sure.
No,
definitely.
Actually, even like recording engineers, I feel like they get disrespected by the artists.
Yes, they do, man. Yes, they do. Yes, they do for no good reason, man. And they don't understand what they do brings them to life, like their skill. But they do. They get disrespected a lot. Yeah. And I was just talking to a studio owner about that, man. They get, treated like a, less than.
Oh, absolutely.
Like less than, for
it's
sure.
Like, man, you're here to record me, push some buttons.
Exactly, right.
Hurry up and do it.
No, for real. You're right, man. You're right. Yeah. Definitely.
So let's start with Big A Prado. So how'd you link up with him, and what's it like working in the studio?
It's the GOAT, man. It's the GOAT. Big A Prado, man. He's the Southside's ghostwriter, and for the right price, he could make your shit tighter, man. Big A he's nice. Doesn't get the credit he deserves for everything he does on the South Side for free, like for free. Man would be a multi-millionaire if he collected everything that was due to him. I'm just being honest. He does a lot of things for artists for free, and I often know, when you do things for free, even that can be resented. So. Hats off to you, brother. I love you, man. Like he does a phenomenal job working from, the guy from Mount Zion High School, Morrow High School, up to, it could be anybody from 211 to Jim Jones. You know what I mean? Like he treats everybody with the same class. All right, let's get it done. But man, Big A. But other than that, engineer-wise, artistry, one of the greatest artists I've ever come across, and that's why I'm here. My goal is to push the narrative on all the artists that I think are dope that don't get that shine, and I'm gonna do it a little different, I'm gonna do it a little different in the way I do it, man. Like artists sometimes, they're cocky behind the mic, like my goal is to, be a little cocky in front of the mic, to promote you, man, to promote y'all. Like that's my goal, man. Like, because it's too much talent in Clayton County, too much talent, too much. But definitely.
And I feel like a lot of new artists, they sleep on having writers. It's like they almost frown upon having someone write for them, but these people can write you a hit.
Man, I've seen it. Yes, with no problem. I mean, he's an engineer, so his ear is amazing, but definitely, man, the ghostwriting, man, a lot of people, man, they frown upon it because, it's a shameful act, even to this day, Drake is still, I don't care, Drake is still one of my favorite artists, man, but it's a shameful act to have help. But I'm an engineer, I know how much help involves in being an artist, from half a bar to a bar to even 4 bars that, people lend you. It takes that, why have somebody in the studio with you that's no knowledge of it? It's not a female looking like eye candy. Why are you here? But so it takes that, man. It does take that. But I think the ghostwriting, things like that, man, I would say it's necessary. It's necessary to get the job done. It's necessary.
I always feel like it can take you from this level to an even higher level.
It can. Humble yourselves. Yeah. But it does, for sure.
So what type of artists do you prefer to work with?
Artists who care about the sound, artists who have a certain level of integrity in their music. I don't really like working with the shoot 'em up, bang, bang, op. I don't cater to that, I have a certain level of respect for myself. I have kids at home, and of course you gotta pop your shit. You gotta, but I don't condone it, I don't condone it, man. Like I often say, man, it's funny, I can imagine a 35-year-old in the studio with his 14-year-old, shoot 'em up, bang, bang, op. What you think about that, son? That's fine, Dad. No, that's not what we on, man. That's not what we on, man. But that's how I think about it every time I hear it. That's for the young man that's trying to find his way, not for not for the man who understands what it's supposed to be about, for sure.
Absolutely.
You can't. I'm about Grammys. You can't win no Grammys like that. You can't win a Grammy like that. But definitely, man. Definitely.
What would you say are some of the things you learned by working with so many different artists in the game?
Oh man, it's levels to it. It's levels to it. I mean, I'm just saying, coming from the diaphragm, it's levels to recording. Some people know how to record. I've proudly, and I boastfully say this, I get to say this now. I work with a platinum recording artist, Derez De'Shon. It's levels to this, man. Just the way they approach the mic, the way they approach their thoughts in coming with it, and it's off the dome, it's off the head, man. And it's, they're already thinking about the next 4 bars while, the engineer is, man, it's a talent. It's a talent, but one thing I know, man, is some artists, they get around other artists or a fan base or their homies that wish them well, but they're destroying them by telling them everything they're doing is good. That's what I'm learning. It's so when they're faced with other rappers or other artists, and they're like, the first thing they say or first thing is like, well, I don't think he's that dope. Look what I'm doing. But it's just a lot of, I say jealousy, a lot of envy. I won't say hatred. It's a strong word, but it's just that everybody wants to be the top dog, man. And I'm the fly on the wall that sees it all. I work with so many artists, from the no name that's trying to make it, to, I say again, a platinum recording artist. But it's people. They don't take advice well. A lot of people don't take advice well, and they wonder why they're spinning their wheels. But man, I just learned, man, everyone has this thing where they feel they should be on top, but don't work as hard as the next man that's on the top. They don't. It's a lot of talk. That's what I learned about working with a lot of artists, man. And I've seen a lot of artists come and go, and yeah, that's what I learned, man, for sure.
So why do you feel like so many talented artists don't make it in the game?
I think hard work beats talent. Any day. A lot of people don't have that David Goggins mentality, man, where they do something every day that they don't like. Even as a producer, man, Hayes, I'm not lying to you. I listen to no less than 150 beats a day. Wow. No less. And a lot of artists don't make it because they don't even have that mindset. They don't even, it's they're waiting on producers to send them beats. They don't go on YouTube. They don't go on BeatStar. They don't go on these websites to find their production. I think that's what it is. But that also, a lot of people are in their ear, telling them, what they should be, and they stay right there until somebody picks them up. I think a lot of it is afraid to collab, with artists for fear of rejection, fear of, looking less than because they asked them, but and I also say, even with Derez, working with Derez, so many people have come in my DM, man, how do I get a feature with Derez De'Shon? I'm like, man, it'll help if you follow his page first, that'll help, but it'll help. But sometimes, and even he had a post that said, man, be careful of those who try to build off your name versus build with you. And I think that is key. I'm trying to build with everyone I work with, not build off of them. I'm trying to win Grammys with everybody I work with, man. That's the goal, man. Grammys, not money. Money comes and goes, man. You can't take it with you. You can't take a Grammy with you, but that name will forever remain. You know what I mean? That's Absolutely. The goal, man, for sure.
Yeah. So what's it like working in the studio with him then?
Oh, gotcha, man. Working in the studio is, Jesus, man. I just want to say, starting out, man, we had a 2-hour session that turned into a 5-hour session, literally. It turned into something different, man. Just men speaking about relationships, not about beef, not about none of that. And what was produced from that, man, was a record I know that we're gonna win a Grammy off of. I know it, man. This record is powerful. Everyone who's heard it, like, bro, this is one. It wasn't, as I say, shoot 'em up, bang bang. It was talking about relationships. Derez is engaged. I'm married. Videographer was married. The engineer has a girlfriend and his friend has a girl. We were just talking about relationships, man. But that's what men, that's what men are supposed to do to get the best out. It turned into something just, yeah, man. I think our relationship grew from there, you know, for sure, man. So no one, one thing I realized is no one checks on the king, you know, like no one checks on the one people think is the strongest. No one will check on, you know, the Southside guy. No one will, you know, like, and that could be, it could be, you know, they say lonely at the top, but yeah, man, it's things like that, man. Like, I just think, you know, yeah, I really think, man, like it's bigger than a relationship. Like it's a brotherhood. It's a brotherhood first. Yeah. Brotherhood first.
What's the song called? When's it dropping?
Man, I do not know when this song is going to drop. I'm telling you, everything I do has to, you know. They say treat your first like your last, and your last like your first. Everything I do, man, I have a lot of music in the tuck that I am actively pursuing. I'm a little different, you know, like, you know, I'm not a recording artist that has to drop a song every 6 weeks, you know, like, but it's, yeah, I really want to do it one time. And that, you know, Jay-Z said, you know, it took my whole life to make my album. That's how I feel about my project, you know, like, yeah.
So and, this is for your project?
This is for my project. Okay. This is for the world, you know, like, this is for my project, man. And I'm carefully doing everything. You know, sometimes you can get a feature and don't know what to do with it. Mm-hmm. You know, like it just fall on deaf ears. And you're like, man, you know, what did I just do? Like, only my homies heard this, my mom and my, you know, like, but that's not my goal. And I think even Derez knows he worked with me for that reason too. He knows I'm not gonna let it fall on deaf ears. But it's called Struggling. The song is called Struggling. Man, it's a beautiful song, man. Like my wife heard the beat. She's like, you sure you wanna give him that? You know, like, babe, this is it. It's simple. This is real music, but definitely. It's called Struggling, and I'm not sure. I have a lot going on, different, not projects, but the CREWL sessions that I'm working with right now, I'm piecing everything together, and you get to see it in real time, for sure.
Talk about these CREWL sessions. What's going on with this?
CREWL sessions, classic records every time we link with CEO Khacki. It's something I'm doing, man, because I was a fan of, you know, 90s and the millennium rap. We didn't get to see a lot of Jay-Z in the studio. We didn't get to see a lot of, you know, Dr. Dre in the studio. We didn't get to see a lot of Eminem in the studio. We just saw bits and pieces of them. My goal with these CREWL sessions is for the artists in the earlier stage. I'm working with artists I know that are going to go. Everyone I work with, I know they're going to go. This is allowing their fan base to see them in the studio working on a hit. Like it's a record, I say a record, working on a record, and just doing that with Derez, man. So many of his little fans, like you don't realize, so many of his little fans were like, man, to see him in the studio like that, man, like you don't know how much it does for these kids, you know, like these little artists who look up to him like, man, like, you know, he actually displayed, you know, his auto-tune setting in there. I know a lot of people ran back and was like, okay, do it just like Derez. Yeah, we're gonna do it exactly how, but that's what they get to see, you know, like they get to see his temperament. They get to see, you know, with everybody, you know, KD Gotti, T-Mo, Mykko Montana, you know, Young Knox. They get to see everybody's temperament, how they are, funny, you know, how they record, you know, like seeing a mess up in real time, you know, but this is what I think hip hop is missing. And I'm really gonna exploit this for sure. I think this is gonna be something bigger than what I see it right now. It's gonna be one of them things, man, like my goal is, you know, all the recording artists that's coming into the city, you know, they're gonna be stopping to do a CREWL session, you know, like with CEO Khacki. That's my goal for sure.
That sounds hard, right?
Definitely, that's what's up, man. Appreciate it. Definitely.
So who are some artists you would like to collaborate with in the future?
Oh man, for starters, I would say Trans Lee. Okay. We're gonna work together, Trans Lee. Trans Lee is like you know, he's like one of them artists that you like, why isn't the world hip? Why isn't the world hip yet? It's coming. I mean, this guy is one of the most talented artists I've ever seen, and hopefully gonna be working with him soon. But Trans Lee, of course, you know, and I'm not even saying that's a smaller scale, but just a lot of local artists, I think that just need the recognition. And from there, my ultimate goal is to work with Dr. Dre, Drake. Of course, everybody wants to work with Jay-Z. I want to see what it's like in the studio with Kanye, you know, like, but artist-wise, it's a lot of artists, man, like, that I really want to work with. I'm a fan of so many, you know, Rolling Stone P it's a lot of people that don't get the recognition that, you know, I just be like, man, I know what we can do. I know what we can do. I know the production I can bring to you, things like that, but definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's it like working with Mykko Montana then?
Man, Mykko, you are not a rapper. You are a rock star. He's a rock star, man. Nothing short of it, man. Like, and it's just different with him, man. I've known Mykko. We grew up in Cobblestone together, man. Came back from the military. Mykko was on fire. Oh, yeah. Mykko was on fire, man. On fire, and he still is on fire. But it's you know, working with Mykko, man. He's serious in the studio. He's serious. I mean, like he's all about getting it done. You know, like getting it done the right way. And he's always been like that. You know, like no matter, not growing up. But when I came back from the military, going from studio to studio to studio to studio, Mykko's not gonna get in there and literally just, you know, sit back and chill. He's like, all right, let's go. All right, let's go. What we doing? Let's go. Let's get it. You know, like, he's, let me hear the beat. No, let me hear another one. Let me hear another one. You know, he's always been like that. He's diligent, and that's why his name will remain for sure.
One of the few artists I think is taller than me also.
Say it again? Right, exactly, right.
Tall as hell.
For sure. Definitely.
Would you be interested in signing a deal?
Yes, of course, man. Like, what are we in it to do? You know, like, yeah, of course. You know, I hear it all the time. I watch. I'm not even joking. 60% of your interviews, you know, and the answer is often no. You know, I want to do it my own way. You know, like, and you know, Jay-Z said it best, man. What are we in it to do? You know, of course, you know, terms and regulations, things like that. But you know, you're here to reach the masses. You know, like your independent thought process. You know, is very few doffs. You know, like there's very few things that, you know, people still forget. You know, it took a label from Master P to get him there, and then he became. People forget that. You know, like, but yeah, definitely, man. Like, you know, Bad Boy is a label. You know, like, yeah, definitely. I would definitely sign a deal. I've seen some artists who didn't want to sign a deal, whether it was short term, 2 years, 36 months, whatever it is, they didn't do it. You know, like, out of sure, you know, I want to do it my way. You know, all right. Show me the deal. I'm here to get it. I'm here to work for sure.
Yeah,
for
ain't
sure.
nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with it, man, for sure.
What's some advice you would share to some artists?
Man, the sound is everything. The sound is everything. I'm telling you, the sound is everything. When you tell me to, you know, a lot of artists, you know, music to Khacki. Everybody knows that email. When they send me music, man, I listen to the music, man. I'm so torn by how it sounds that I can never get in the groove of listening to a full-length project. No one invests in the sound. You're a dope artist, but the sound is horrific, you know, and no one can get into that, man. No one can get into that. I often say, you know, I buy, you know, headphones from Five Below, you know, of course, you know, and I listen to it in a Mercedes, and I listen to it in a Nissan Sentra, and I listen to it, you know, in AirPods. 4 different references, and of course the studio monitors, man. And that's how I listened to 4 or 5 before I'm like, man, this is not a good sound. Why are you putting this on Apple Music? Why are you not investing in the mix? But you can't tell them that, you know, like, and I'm boldly, I'm gonna say, man, they'll rather spend it on, you know, weed and alcohol, you know, like, versus getting their song mixed, man. And it's a tragedy, man. It's a tragedy, man. But that's the downfall. That's the down. Nobody will take you serious, man, because your sound is horrible. But that's God's honest truth. God's honest truth.
That's wise words right there.
Definitely, man. Definitely.
So 2023, what's some goals you got set for yourself, Khacki?
To take over the world, man. To take over the world, Mikey. It's literally to take over the world and bring integrity back to music. Working with a different array of artists, man. Like, they know, you know, you have to come with it. You know, you have to come with it. You know, I often tell people about, you know, like, man, would you, you know, if Diddy was in front of you, would you sound like that? Would you give him that song? You know, like, and people often, like, I've been saying that for 15 years. If Diddy said one song, bring me that song, would you bring it to him? Like, no, man, that ain't it. Then why are you putting this out as your single? You know, like, that's how I feel, man. Like, that's how I feel. That's the level of, you know, confidence you have to have in your music, man. But some people throw out music and just, you know, 5, 10, 15 projects deep, man, and, you know, no one can quote anything from it, you know, like, but yeah, man, that's, yeah.
I got you.
Sure.
And what's some advice you would share to the youth coming up?
To the youth, man, like, I would say to the young men, adopt Adopt the rule, man. I live by the 27-40 rule. Adopt that rule. $27.40. Adopt that rule. Times 365 days a year, that's $10,000. If you can do it for 1 year, you know, you will become the bank, you will become the lender, not the borrower. You will become the head, not the tail. If you can't do that, bring it down to $13.70. Try that for 365 days. That's $5,000 in 1 year. Be disciplined for 1 year. Be the lender, not the borrower. A lot of people, man, a lot of our young men, man, they spend it before they have it. You know, they make $10 and they owe 12. You know, I want to change that in our culture. I want to change that with young black men. I want to change that, you know, even young black sisters, everybody, man. But even if you can't adopt that, $2,500. Everybody can save $6.85. Everybody can do that. $6.85, 365, $2,500 in 1 year. Just be disciplined. You know, like we spend that on nothing. Like we spend that on nothing every day. Lunch, we spend that on nothing. But just adopt that rule, man. It's helped me in my life. It helped me a lot of my family's lives. Like adopt that rule, man. Like and go from there. Watch those seeds grow. You know, like. But definitely, man. That's the advice I have, man. And think before you do. You know, think ahead before you do. You know, a lot of lives are lost. You know, because they're quick. You know, like they're quick. You know, God gave us 2 ears, man. 2 ears. Listen first. Listen first. React second, man. But definitely, that's it.
No, that's sound advice right there.
Man, appreciate it.
All right, Khacki, go ahead and plug your social media and give your shout outs too, man.
Gotcha. All right, social media. All right, so what I want you to do, man, is right here, right now, click more again. CEO Khacki's right there. Follow me, I'll follow you back. First 100 followers, get $1 to my Cash App. More, CEO Khacki right there. Appreciate you.
Shout outs?
Shout outs. Oh man, let me get the shout outs, man. Shout outs first to God, man. Jesus Christ, man. Who would I be without him? Shout out to my dad, my pops. Man, he's the greatest man I know. See you at Go to CREWL in a minute. To my wife, she's the backbone, man. She handles everything in my life, our lives that's not popular. Shout out to Clayton County, Southside, man. Like, I ain't trying to change you, just give you some game to make the transition from the streets to the fame. It was a Jay-Z bar, one of my favorite bars. And, and also one of my favorite bars as well is, Big A Prado. Face card good in any hood. Only place I can't go is broke. What a bar that is. What a bar. It's one of my favorite bars, man. But shout out to Derez. Thank you for the blessing. Heavy is the head, man. And that Silk the Shocker feature, man, we're gonna make it happen, man. And only a Derez the Shark fan will know where that comes from. But Mykko, man, you're a rock star. Keep rocking out, man. You're different. It's just different. KG tomorrow, I love you. Let's keep going. Everybody, Southside, everybody I work with, Katie Gotti, T-Mo, Young Knox, 88 Duke, Serta. I don't want to miss out on anybody, but everybody I work with, man. Certified Campaign, y'all gonna run the world. We just gotta sit back and wait on it. It's a lot of artists, man, I think are really dope. That's going to take the next level. DJ Ace, man, we appreciate you, man. Flowers. You don't get the recognition you deserve. You have put on for the Southside, and that's been your mission since I've known you. And sorry, Eastside, he's ours. And just leaving it like that, man. We got work to do, man. We got to let's keep the integrity in the music. Let's love more.
Hey, they sleeping on the couch, you sleeping in the bed. They sleeping how the house, you got somewhere to live. How you even let them tell you about some shit they never did? They can barely keep a man and they don't even want their kid.